There is something happening on the German side of TikTok, which you should check out immediately if you care about memes and brain rot and you're ready to have some of your assumptions challenged. It is vertikal rotierender Fisch. This is a revolutionary kind of innovation coming out of Deutschland, and it takes the entire brain rot genre and flips it on its head, or more accurately, rotates it on its head, back to its tail, back to its head again. Now, vertikal rotierender Fisch is just one element within the broader genre of German brain rot, which seems to have risen to prominence in November of 2024. There's also a lot of other fish like this goldfish. There's a lot of pigeons involved, and often it's sort of a first-person narrator. These are minute or 2-minute long clips that often focus on the inner lives, the quests and journeys and sorrows of these animal characters, but they're flavored with tons of absurdist spice, and the overwhelming sense you get is of density. It's like one of those very, very thick German breads that's extremely hearty, but it's almost like one slice is too much. There's just everything is going on so quickly here. There's so many references packed into such a small space. So like every second of screen time, it feels like there's 2 or 3 jokes being made. Many of them are highly specific, having to do with German national identity, or perhaps even more specifically regional identity. Like, I have no idea what's up in Mecklenburg-Vorpommern, but these meme makers might. And you'll also get things like tons of sort of niche brands that only exist in German supermarkets, references to old shows that were on TV, music type of things. And if you're not German and you're not a German speaker, like I'm neither of those things, these density sort of hits you like a wall. And there's something pleasant about sort of that blunt force of all this stuff that you don't understand. And I think that's why German rot has sort of found such a broad audience internationally. There's also a lot of brands, products, logos, mascots being used in German brain rot, many of them taken from kind of basic consumer products that people might encounter often at the grocery store. And in that, I think you see this sort of commentary, of course, on capitalism, where we see the capitalist market, commodities, as their own form of brain rot, where it's something that really doesn't make sense, is kind of absurd and arbitrary and not normal or natural, but it kind of gets incorporated into the way we see and experience the world. And arguably in the same way that the German brain rot kind of POV camera is always jerking back and forth, always zooming in, going underwater or going out of the room, doing things that are disorienting, you could say that sort of the perspective that capital imposes on us to see our own lives and to see others is also equally, disorienting. And so what German rot kind of does is that by putting the products into this same sort of denaturalized setting as the absurdist brain rot, it kind of equates them on that level. And I think you see strong evidence of this in one of the first and most popular German brain rot videos is of the pigeon going to the store. It's doing an economic transaction. One of the others is, the pigeon tries to get healthcare, so another economic type of transaction. The vertikal rotierender Fisch itself also warrants further discussion. On the one hand, it's this sort of surreal element that gets thrown in there. It doesn't really fit in the world of the, video itself, and it's random to you. But yet the way it's often introduced is a character saying, and I think this is the translation of the German, like, oh no, it is the vertikal rotierender Fisch again, vertically rotating fish again. So there's this sense of like, oh, this is a familiar part of this world that in so many other ways looks as if it simulates our own, as if it's a city that you might encounter, but there's suddenly this fish there. And fish don't vertically rotate. Another notable facet of the German brain rot that a German follower told me is often it's using a type of German that's stripped of all the English loanwords, so it's the Germanest German you could have. And if you look at the work of creators like Schneck 123, I hope I got that pronunciation right, you're looking at a lot of compound words that are being created and very sort of complex ways of using grammar and vocabulary, which is mirrored, I think, in other forms of brain rot. No matter what language it is in, it tends to be doing something kind of strange with that language. And again, you also have this male AI-generated voice that is authoritatively pronouncing everything that's happening, which seems to be a common thread with this sort of era of brain rot right now. Thank you for watching. I'm looking to do more videos on international brain rot and the ways that memes connect and reference each other across linguistic boundaries and what we can all learn from one another, being on the internet together and sharing. So today was German brain rot. If you're German and I got something wrong, please let me know. But if you're not German and you have an idea of a meme tradition from your own culture that you think it would be interesting for me to talk about and learn about, then please let me know. My DMs are totally open for this.